today's video, I'm going to be having a look at Coca-Cola and the new merger that's potentially happening. As well as that, we're going to be looking at US stimulus and what's happening with Airbnb. Hello and welcome to another ACY Securities Hot Topics video. My name is Alistair Schultz and I'm going to be your host through today's trading journey. The first thing I'd like to tick off today is just a little bit of a recap on what's happening with coronavirus around the world. Now, on Friday, we saw one of the world's record-setting days for the US, with more than 80,000 infections recorded in just the single day. Now, at this point in time, there's more than nearly 43 million cases around the globe. There's been more than 1 million deaths, with 1.15 million people that have died. And we've also seen recovery rates sitting at about 28 million. So that is important to note, that whilst we have had 28 million people recover, that is a total that's taken away from the current cases we actually have. Now, looking at Coca-Cola, there is a little bit of a merger starting to happen. The European sect of Coca-Cola, which did a merger back in 2015 with 3 respective European Coca-Cola entities, is looking to acquire Coca-Cola Amatil Limited here in Australia. Now, so far, if it goes through, that will be the largest deal for Australia in 2020. Negotiations are still ongoing, or at least they were. It seems like this morning that a deal may have actually gone through and an offer accepted. But either way, trading has been stopped, so we aren't going to be able to see what the new stock price is and what people are really thinking about it until obviously they reopen. And on top of that, the bottlers are kind of under pressure at the moment because they haven't had anywhere near as many sales throughout the pandemic as they would have liked. So there might be a little bit of incentivized reasons for them to actually amalgamate all together so that they can consolidate and obviously have some cheaper pricing perhaps occur. Now, there has also been interest from Asahi Group Holdings. At this stage, it looks like it's just the Coca-Cola European sect that has actually purchased into Amatil. We're not sure on the full figures, and we're not going to find those out immediately. And whether this becomes a three-way party with Asahi Group as well is yet to be seen. Now, looking a little bit further forward, stimulus talks were continuing yesterday, being on Sunday, and they don't seem to have gone all that well. And I quote that many of the issues have been because of either Nancy Pelosi wanting to move the goalposts, as they've been saying in the papers, or we've heard from the other side on the Republican Senate side. Now, in either case, it makes it difficult to really get a goal if the goalposts continue to move. So apparently quite a few different offers have been made and neither party is able to go forward. This is making the likelihood of a stimulus deal going through before the election less and less likely each day. So I am now fully anticipating that we will not see a stimulus deal at all until after the US presidential election on November 3rd, and that we will likely see one before the new year though in that instance. Now, moving on to Airbnb. Airbnb stocks aren't available for purchase just yet. They're going to be doing an initial public offering supposedly later this year, but they did announce to their shareholders they're doing a 2-for-1 split, which certainly ramps up that speculation that there is likely going to be an IPO this year. It comes into effect Tuesday. The new share price is going to be $34.88 for those shareholders already in existence, the private ones. And this all looks to me to be a little bit of preparations for an IPO because it reduces the price of the shares and it also doubles the available amount of shares. So we can anticipate that the opening price is probably going to be around $34 to $35, and we're going to be seeing a lot more shares available for purchase. So how will it roll out on the day? Who knows? I've not ever been a big fan of IPOs because your values tend to fluctuate and it is a little bit more riskier than being into the secondary market. But regardless, it's still probably worth a look considering how well Airbnb is going at the moment with all the people, all the interest in traveling to local regions and regional districts to get away from the big smoke for a little while. Now, looking at what's going on with the news ahead of today, it is a lighter day. So please be aware of that. You might see a little bit less traffic than normal. We do have daylight saving shifts that have gone over the weekend as well for the UK, Switzerland, and of course, most of Europe as well. Now, today is a bank holiday in New Zealand, so if you do trade the Kiwi, keep that in mind. You'll likely see less volume on that side. We have German business IFO climates coming out a bit later in the London session. And we also have US home sales. And we're going to be hearing from the Swiss National Bank's chairman Jordan much later in the session, about 1 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's really all the big news for today, at least from a scheduled basis. We could hear on a number of different issues. This might include Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin or Donald Trump on stimulus. We could be hearing about the election. We could be hearing from stuff that's going on in the UK with Brexit. There are so many different things that could come out at any time. We do need to be a little bit prevalent in keeping an eye on what is going on. Now, if you do have any questions about today's video, or perhaps some of my other videos, please feel free to get in contact with me at talk2al@ACY. Of course, all my other socials are available for you to get and reach out to me as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this video so you can get more great content from me and ACY Securities in the future. Have a great trading day ahead.